Unique stories that define our state's character. Here's Kevin Mackey with your Montana Moment. Sponsored by Montana Chevy Dealers.
It stands high above the city of Missoula, a landmark you can't miss. If you're new to Missoula or just passing through, you might wonder what it stands for. If you live here, you probably already know. But do you know how it got there? In our Montana Moment, Kevin Mackey with Mind, Spirit, and Body.
The L on Mount Jumbo has been visible to the community since 1961. The landowner granted Loyola High School permission to build the giant L out of rock. As part of the deal, the school was required to maintain it. The Catholic school student body president, Dennis Nelson, wanted to boost school spirit.
He rallied all the boys up this idea of climbing up to the L and just letting people know that we exist.
Dennis's efforts, plus strong support by parents, gave the school one of its proudest symbols.
It's been a figurehead on the mountain for as long as I can remember.
Russ Pilcher graduated from Loyola in 1963. It was tradition. He remembers his senior class taking the freshman class to the L.
The freshmen were responsible for painting it.
Back then, hazing was common practice in freshman initiation.
Somebody said, well, they must have got dunked in the paint cans.
It didn't go over well with their Jesuit teachers.
Penalties was called jug, and it meant that you stayed after school, you missed your activity, whatever, and I think the whole senior class was in jug. You know.
Back then, Loyola was a boys' school only. Sacred Heart was the Catholic school for girls. The boys were taught by Jesuit brothers, the girls by nuns of the Sisters of Providence.
So the first time I ever had a female in class was when I was a freshman in college. I didn't know how to act.
The Loyola Sacred Heart School building is stunning in its setting and architecture. But this isn't the original school. Before becoming a school, it was the old St. Anthony's Elementary School and Church. The school moved to its new location in 1979. Loyola and Sacred Heart schools had merged into one school, educating both boys and girls. A lot has changed. The old Loyola School building still stands on the St. Francis Xavier campus. It was across the street from the old Sacred Heart School, which has since been torn down. Patrice says the nuns kept a close eye on the girls.
We couldn't cross the street to meet the boys, but they could come over here to meet with us.
That's just what Patrice's boyfriend, Mike Schwink, did.
Mike and I were holding hands, and that was a transgression. So I was sent to the principal's office.
But they would get married, and more than 50 years later, they're still holding hands. In the beginning, Sacred Heart girls weren't part of the L experience. Today, of course, both freshman boys and girls trek up that mountain to maintain the L every fall. Any hazing is off limits.
And it's really cool that we just have something that we can look at and we just admire and feel pride when looking at it.
Through the years, more people started messing with the rocks.
People were up there changing it into marriage proposals, political signs, all sorts of stuff, not to mention our local rival Frenchtown would go up there at least once a year. They would go change it into an F for Frenchtown.
Eddie Stack is Loyola Sacred Heart's health and PE teacher, but back in 2000 he was a senior at the school. He and several other senior boys launched a community service project.
And we paved the L with a helicopter and bucket cement lift.
Eddie says it's made maintaining and painting the L a lot easier. Loyola Sacred Heart's mission is to educate young men and women as a whole in mind, spirit, and body, and to develop compassion, conscience, and competence.
I think that they feel that honor, they feel that tradition, they have an understanding of how much went into ensuring that L is there.
Whether you're coming to Missoula for the first time or you've lived here your whole life, the L just welcomes you. And I think that's a symbol of what Loyola is.
Sounds like the school spirit that Dennis Nelson had in mind when he spearheaded building that L on top of a mountain so many years ago. Kevin Mackey, NBC, Montana. If you want to watch this story again or any of our Montana moments, go to NBCMontana.com/Montana Moment. These unique stories about the Treasure State, its history, and its great people are now the Montana Moment podcast. Look for new episodes every week. If you have a story idea, let us know. Until next time, be safe, stay healthy, and keep making Montana moments.